Poojya Gurudev wrote this letter to his wife when he wanted to leave his house for sadhana, but family responsibilities compelled him to stay on. This letter reflects his mental state at that time, how sad and worried he was, and what a great emotional and mental struggle he had to go through before preparing himself for sadhana. Dearest, the man your destiny is linked with is of peculiar ideas and strange feelings. His thoughts are unconventional. He cannot identify his thinking with others, as he feels that his life was not intended to be lived in the usual humdrum way. He has to do something unusual which is beyond the capability of ordinary people. Before our marriage, I passed several sleepless nights wondering if I should go through the marriage at all, and gradually I started believing strongly that my life was not cut out for it, as it puts constraints on a person and he cannot remain absolutely independent. It is true that it is one's duty to get married, but as I told you, I am unable to put myself in an average situation. There is restlessness, a fire burning in my heart which I cannot explain to you, although I want to. You do not know perhaps that when my marriage was proposed, I was the one who opposed it most strongly. I had told my parents frankly that perhaps my life was not meant to be that of a householder, that I would not be able to discharge the duties of a householder. My indifference would shatter the dreams of another person because my thoughts and my feelings are on a different plane altogether. I felt lost and unable to comprehend what was going on around me. I could not feel any affinity with it. Probably people in my family realized that if I continued this way, I would either lose my sanity or take refuge in sannyas, and that they would be the losers either way. They did not want their eldest son to become a sannyasi or make marriage an excuse to isolate himself from them. They started pressurizing me for marriage even more. You will well understand that mine was hardly the age to get married, but their apprehension perhaps made them plan to get me married as quickly as possible, and they completed a good deal of preparations without telling me. All their plans and efforts were inspired only with a desire to ensure the continuity of the family lineage. I agree that they were right in their own way. All parents wish their sons to get married and have children, future heirs of the family. But I knew what was happening was not right. My marriage would prove to be a bondage for me. In a way, I shall not be able to achieve what I wish to, as I will not be able to break away from the shackles and set myself free. My parents did not take my pleadings seriously. They brushed aside my arguments and eventually married me off to you. It is not your fault. You married me and came to this house as a daughter-in-law. You have your own feelings, aspirations, your own thoughts and ideas. You received affection from my parents. My younger brother joked with you and amused you. But the man with whom you went round the fire and took the marriage vows is not giving you his love. My indifference must puzzle you. Perhaps you have all kinds of misgivings about me, and maybe you try to dispel them from your mind. I have noticed that you look quite lost, and a shadow has fallen over your fresh and cheerful face. The reason, I suspect, is my indifference. After the wedding, your friends must have given you all kinds of ideas. You must have had so many dreams. Perhaps your lips quivered to say so much, but after all these days, when you had nothing but indifference from me, your dreams must be shattered. those tender expectations frustrated with a veil drawn over them. Probably I shall not be able to fulfill your expectations. I am not running away from responsibilities. I want to reach at a compromise with you to save you from future suffering. Probably I shall not be able to give you the kind of love a husband usually gives his wife soon after the marriage. I may not be able to fill your life with colorful dreams, which is the way it should be at this age. I shall not be able to indulge in love talks, whisper sweet nothings, tease, joke, and all the rest. But all this does not mean that I am really indifferent and that I am ignoring you. Now that I am married, I have thought a good deal about us. If it is my duty to develop my spirituality, it is also my duty to fulfill my parents' wishes. I should do what makes them happy. It is the duty of a son to respect his parents' wishes. He should not live to make them unhappy. I thought that they would be happy if I got married. They attached great importance to it, and one day they even said, "You talk of repaying the debt of gratitude to your parents. You can do that by listening to us and getting married." I gave my consent that very day, which culminated in our marriage. I understand your feelings. I have no right to crush them. It is not right on my part to disregard your values. I do not wish you unhappiness. I respect you as much as I respect my own self. I think it would be fair if I talk to you frankly so that you do not misunderstand my indifferent attitude. Many a time I hardened my heart and decided to talk to you. But one look at your innocent face and I was unable to say anything, and I lay down on the bed quietly. You must have seen me awake at night. I keep tossing in the bed when my mind is in conflict and I am caught in cross currents of thought. There is a storm raging in my heart and I feel a heavy burden on my chest. I can be rid of it only after I have talked to you freely, putting all my cards on the table. Until then, I shall not be able to do anything in peace. As I told you, my life is not intended to be lived the normal way. I do not want it. I do not feel inclined to strive for the material comforts of life, nor do I attach great importance to earning money and wasting these precious years in fun and frolic with my wife. I have from the very beginning been an introvert. I express myself in very few words because I feel so restless. There is a fire burning in my heart which cannot be seen by others. The more I try to suppress it, the more overpowering it becomes. I have been coming to you for the last 4 months in this state of mind, but I have not been able to say a word about all this, and that is the reason I am taking recourse to writing, to be able to place before you my problems without any reservation and reach an understanding with you in these early moments of life, so that I do not have any regrets and you have no resentment. I am a Brahman youth, and I do feel strongly that unless I am able to resurrect some of India's lost knowledge, my life will be a waste. My ancestors have been the greatest thinkers of the world. The values they gave to our society, the thoughts they handed us down are unique. It is because of their thoughts that we are still respected. Gautama, Kannada, Vasishtha, Yagnavalkya and others must have sacrificed every moment of their lives for sadhana. They must have gone through fire. What they achieved after having renounced all the pleasures of the world is the nectar enriching our lives today. But now I feel that the source is drying up. Not that the source itself has become deficient in any way, it is our society itself which has gone astray. The trend of its thinking is changed. The fetters of slavery have made them forget their real self. Our highest asset, astrology, is being trampled under the feet of foreigners. Our mantra is being ridiculed. Our tantra, yantra and our sadhanas are being joked about. If this situation continues, we shall lose these valuable assets. Whatever knowledge and skills our ancestors acquired by physically torturing themselves is fast disappearing. In a way, we have become ungrateful, and it is a sad state of affairs. My heart shudders to think how depraved we have become. Our society is moving in a direction which will end up in a cell of darkness. I cannot consciously follow this road to darkness. This is the fire in my heart which is consuming me little by little. I cannot enjoy myself even if I wish to. I cannot get involved in merrymaking. At the age when a man talks to the moon, enjoys romance and his beloved's company in the moonlight, I keep getting consumed by this fire within me. My only desire is not to die like an ordinary man. It is not my aim to earn my livelihood in the humdrum way. My only aim in life is to establish astrology at a very eminent place and show to the world that this knowledge which made us the leaders in the world is very unique. Apart from this, Tantra and Mantra have been the very foundation of our society. Sadhana has been the pulsation of its life. That is what made India what it is and gave it a prestigious place in the world. It is the crowning glory of the world. But my country is being trampled upon by foreigners. We are alive yet like the dead. We have forgotten our own language and the honor of our ancestors and have started feeling proud in not accepting ourselves. There are only two solutions, either to accomplish this task through politics or save our ancient heritage through sadhana. The first course does not appeal to me. I cannot adopt it. The second course is better for me. People who think differently or do not wish to follow the beaten track are called crazy, and you can imagine how painful it would be for you to be a madman's wife. It is to compromise with you on this point that I am writing this letter. I want you to help me achieve my objective. Be my partner in my endeavors and do what I wish. This is my desire.